and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the opening night of Halloween Horror Nights 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very big day for Theme Park Express because we are here as invited media. Your boy has finally made the media list and we are here at Halloween Horror Nights, which means we are going to get to film inside all of the haunted houses. We are going to be experiencing an RIP tour today, so you guys are going to get to see absolutely everything that Halloween Horror Nights has to offer. I am beyond thankful to be here, and it's all because of your incredible support that we are here, invited guests at Universal Studios for Halloween Horror Nights. I'm beyond excited. This is going to be such an exciting video. Let's not waste any time, guys. Let's go ahead inside and experience Halloween Horror Nights 2022. Oh my god, guys, we're in. It's finally happening. Halloween Horror Nights 2022. We got scare actors and chainsaws, and I am just in heaven right now. On our way back to the media event, we get to walk through the graveyard, Deadly Unrest. Pump it into my veins. Pump it into my veins. Yes. Woo. And take a look at that, guys. For the first time in 2022, Mel's dying. First things first, though, we gotta head inside Universal Horror Makeup Show for a little reception. Oh, how awesome is this? We get to try some of the food that they're offering in the park this year. That's awesome.
I need to introduce you to one of the creative minds of Halloween Horror Nights 31. She's the senior manager of creative and show direction, entertainment, art, and design. Please clap your hands right now for Laura Shaw!
Welcome to Halloween Horror Nights 31, where this year we're celebrating the holiday that started it all. October 31st, Halloween. This year, Halloween Horror Nights celebrates Halloween. Celebrating those tropes and those traditions like black cats and witches and ghosts and goblins, skeletons and scarecrows, and we're spinning it, you know, like those old vinyl records.
I see what you did there. You knew I was in the basement.
I knew you found that record. You found that sweet.
Let me give you a nice spooky understory.
I love that spooky music.
Yes.
Okay, so we're spinning those Halloween traditions into terrifying Halloween Horror Nights nightmares. Like Raphael said, we have 10 incredible haunted houses. Universal Monsters Legends Collide brings Wolfman, Dracula, and Mummy together in a battle royale for that amulet. Then we have Bugs Eaten Alive. Woo. Set in the 1950s. It's really gooey. Then we have 5 amazing scare zones. Horrors of Halloween, all brought to you by him himself, the Pumpkin Lord, right? Oh, hail the Pumpkin Lord. Then Conjure the Dark, where our sorceress is conjuring up the very first Halloween. We have 2 incredible shows. Nightmare Fuel returns, right? Nightmare Fuel Wildfire is bigger, it's sexier, and it's a whole lot hotter. Trust me, I was there. It's a lot hotter in many ways. Then, last but not least, to round out our slate, we have Ghoulish, a Halloween Tale. This is where we go back to that spinning vinyl. The Halloween Tale on the Lagoon is the vinyl, is that old Halloween record spinning all those tropes and traditions, taking you into the afterlife, all with, of course, really upbeat music, some laser lights, some fountains, some fun projections on the buildings. It's Ghoulish, a Halloween Tale. So really, there's something for everyone at Halloween 31. That's really one of my most favorite things.
Laura, I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. Let me fix this real quick.
It's an old album.
Yeah. Hold on. Is that your microphone?
No.
It's not my microphone. It's microphone.
That's somebody.
Can you check the microphone?
RIP tour has officially begun. We are heading on into Scarecrow, Cursed Soil.
One year, remember that? I stayed here for like an hour. Oh my god. Right.
Here's a look at one of our food booths at night. This is the Twisted Taters booth. Take a look at that Chucky booth. Holy cow. We're walking through the Springfield area right now, and it doesn't look like there are any chainsaw hordes in here right now. However, our tour guide does say that on the team member preview, there were a couple hordes in here. So they may come back out later tonight. Not entirely sure. We'll see. But as of right now, there's nothing. So an amendment to our ultimate haunt guide that I need to make is that the only house located over here this year is Descendants of Destruction. The Bugs house is not going to have an entrance here. It's going to be further on down that way. I'll make sure to cover that a little bit later on. But right now, we're heading on this way towards Descendants of Destruction.
Our first 2 haunted houses are both going to be original concepts that we came up with as our own company. So during our event, we like to work with intellectual properties or IPs, where those are things that exist outside of the realm of Universal. So like we'll see Halloween with Michael Myers, The Weeknd, and a couple other fun favorites around tonight. But some of my personal favorite houses that we get to do are the stories that we come up with and tell on our own. Our first haunted house that we're going to see is the one that is directly behind you here. It is called Descendants of Destruction. Think many years in the future. Give it about a century ahead of time, and pollution hasn't really cleared itself up. We can't come out here where we are now and breathe this air. It is too dangerous for us. And so as a community, we basically popularize the underground, working our way through this very subway system down into the depths of the earth, where these people are learning how to adapt and change into living underground to the point where we get so far deep that we're almost evolving into mole people, where we don't really use light to see anymore, but more about how we feel and how those wavelengths bounce around to get us through. You are going to be heading deep into this underground with these descendants, and you're going to see how these people have devolved and how you won't be able to see very well anymore because you're going to evolve too and figure out how to see without seeing. So that is Descendants of Destruction. You're descending into the world.
Oh yeah.
He got me good at the end. He got me real good at the end. That was a good one.
We are jumping into our second house, and that is Bugs Eaten Alive. And Laura Saul's talked about that, how it's gooey and gross. It absolutely is, but the concept of it came from our 1950s. We are here with our brand new invention where we're basically creating an air conditioner that also heats your home, that also takes care of your pest control. Now, back in the 50s, AC and heat were not coexisting really. You didn't have a system that made that work. And so not only are we taking that concept for this mid-century vibe, but now we're involving pest control, where it's going to release this mist into the air that is safe for humans to breathe, but will take care of all those nasty bugs. And you're heading into basically the demo home, where they've been breeding all sorts of bugs like maggots and flies and roaches and spiders and everything else that has more legs than we have. But what happens whenever they release this is that we've released a little too much, And it turns out an overdose does quite the opposite of taking care of the bugs. Not only does it multiply them, but it mutates them. There are over 37,000 bugs in this house, so if you can't do bugs like myself, that one is probably going to be the one that squicks you out the most. That's probably the best word to describe the house, is squicking people out. Also, just a big trigger warning, if you have trypophobia, aka the fear of holes, this house is incredibly triggering, because guess what happens when the bugs burrow into your skin? Yeah!
Get off of me! Oh, they're biting me!
Keep it moving. Inside of me.
Okay, so we just got out of Descendants of Destruction and Bugs Eaten Alive. Both of those houses were really, really good. I loved them both. I love the idea behind Descendants of Destruction, where you're having a hard time seeing. That house is really dark. And Bugs, oh man, if you are scared of bugs in any way, shape, or form, you're gonna have a rough time in that house. It is a trypophobic's nightmare, but I loved every single second of it. That was one of my most hyped up haunted houses of the year, and visually, it was great. Scare-wise, it was also great. But we still have plenty more houses to do throughout the night, so we'll see how it stacks up against the rest. Still, a solid start to the year. All right, we got 2 haunted houses done. We're heading on to the next 2 that are quite literally right next door. We are gonna get done Universal Monsters, Legends Collide, and Weeknd After Hours Nightmare. A big improvement over last year's Haunting of Hill House queue is that for the Weeknd After Hours Nightmare, it's like one big dance party. At least you're listening to some great music. When I tell you that Express is worth it, this is why right here. Last year, I was at my lowest when I was waiting in this queue.
Our first IP of the night, so I hope you've been saving those tears. Oh, because it's the weekend! Or as Daniel Craig said on SNL, ladies and gentlemen.
The Weeknd.
Any fans of the Weeknd?
Woohoo!
Have you guys seen these music videos for his
Yes.
After Hours album? Perfect. If you haven't, The Weeknd is a pop artist who loves horror. And basically, the music videos for the songs from his After Hours album has incorporated this overwhelming theme of him going through hallucinogenics and some horror things going around with him and all these creatures that he has created. And so when we go into our house, The Weeknd After Hours Nightmare, we're going to be experiencing all those videos come to life. This one I would say, just if you have any sensitivity to any strobing lights or blinding lights, have you, this will be the one with all the fun colors. And if you get a little lost in here, just dancing out, because it's the fun one of the year. I hope you guys have fun with this one. I'm going to be leading you guys in, so if you see me dancing and I don't know where I'm going, just follow me in. Are you guys ready for this one? Yeah!
Oh, that's cool. So much fun. Okay, so we just got done with the Weeknd After Hours Nightmare. While the house wasn't exactly the scariest, not saying it's not scary, because I did get scared a couple times, but that is such a fun house. Oh my gosh, if you're a fan of the Weeknd and you're familiar with the After Hours music videos, you are definitely going to love that house. As I said before, I highly recommend checking out the After Hours music video compilation. I'll leave that link down in the description below, so that way you guys can brush up on it. Such a fun house. I loved it.
So now that we've left our After Hours party, we're actually gonna head all the way back to an excavation site here in Egypt. Now I'm sure we're all familiar with our classic monsters, right? We've heard of the Mummy, we know Dracula for sure, we know the Wolfman, perfect. Well, the Wolfman unfortunately was cursed with having this whole deal that every full moon he turns into this man-eating killer, the Wolf Man, and he's a little sick of it. He said, you know what, if there's a way out of this, I want out. And then he gets a very strange letter under his door from a secretive count that tells him that in this very convenient Egyptian excavation site, there is an amulet that has the power of the sun and the moon, and it will cure him of his curse. And he says, you know what, that sounds like a really good idea, let's go. So he goes and just takes over this whole excavation site, but this amulet already has an owner. Now we know them as Paris the Mummy, and he wants to keep a hold of that thing because that's what gives him his power. And so the Wolfman and the Mummy deck it out, but secretly behind the scenes it's Dracula that really wants that amulet. And so he's trying to go around not getting his hands dirty to also steal that amulet, making Universal Monsters Legends Collide a battle royale of our 3 favorite monsters. And at the end of the house, one comes out on top. And that will change depending on the night. So let's see who's gonna rule this one. It will change depending on the night who wins. Wow. At the end of the house will show you the monster that wins the amulet, and that will change every night.
we just got out of Universal Monsters Legends Collide. This time we went through with all the scare actors, and it was a really solid house. Definitely very, very mummy heavy. Very mummy heavy house. There's not too much Wolfman or Dracula, but it is still a very solid house, very fun house. Not particularly my favorite Universal Monsters haunted house, but still a fun house with some pretty great scares. In case you guys are looking for a wait time update, current time is 9:07 in the evening on opening night, and Descendants of Destruction here in the back of the park, currently a 50-minute wait. As I stated earlier, the entrance to Bugs Eaten Alive has been relocated to be right next to the Fear Factor's theater. So just be aware of that. If you want to go to Bugs Eaten Alive, head towards the left of Men in Black and to the right of the Fear Factor Theater. We're currently on our way to the Horrors of Blumhouse. We're passing by the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley. As I stated before in our survival guide, this is going to be your safe zone for Halloween Horror Nights. If you want to get away from the scares, want to get away from the scare actors, head inside over here, take your break, and come back out.
On our way to the next house, we're walking through our San Francisco area of the park, and we're going to see Conjure the Dark. As Laura Sauls, who was talking about the zones earlier, this is a story of a sorceress who is pulling all together the spirits to conjure up the very first Halloween. So you will see the sorceress working her magic, and then all of her minions roaming the street to capture all of those souls to help conjure that very first All Hallows Eve. It's a beautiful zone, a lot of really cool things to see, so make sure you get all of those videos in, and then we'll be heading up to our very next house. You guys ready?
Upon my exalted titans, my royal pillagers of darkness, be faithful unto me. Let the bloodletting commence! With magic light, my hellish hounds, through the power of this blood, forever bound. The night of harvest is upon us. Let us together bask in the glory of our customs. Drink, my devoted minions. Drink! I can feel it coursing through my veins. The power emanating from these tortured souls. It shall be our vitality!
The Blumhouse house that we have this year, Horrors of Blumhouse, takes a double feature where we have two different movies that we are putting inside of the house. It'll be very clear what movie you're in and when. We start our journey with Freaky. If you've seen Freaky Friday, where the mom and the daughter switch bodies, it's essentially we took that concept and turned it into a horror movie where a serial killer known as the Butcher switches bodies with a high school girl named Millie when they basically get attacked and stab each other with this sacrificial knife, and they have until midnight on Halloween to stab each other back to switch their bodies. Otherwise, Vince Vaughn is going to be in the body of a 16-year-old girl forever. It is that campy, silly horror that we know and we love from Blumhouse, but then we're going to switch it up when we get to the second half of the house where we're in the story of the Black Phone. This is more of a psychological horror where there is a bad guy known as the Grabber who will kidnap young boys and trap him in his basement until they are deemed ready to kill. It is a mind game of sorts where they have a black phone that they can make their calls to and from, and follows the story of a young boy named Finn as he tries to evade the Grabber. The cool part about the house is that you literally leave the house in its entirety and you go outside before going into the second half of the house, so it is extremely clear when you are in each section of the house. And for the first time, we'll feature a live chainsaw as part of the house experience. Typically, a live chainsaw can only be used outside, so I'll let you connect those dots. Are you guys ready for Horrors of Blumhouse? Yeah. Excellent!
much. I'll suck your... I can't wait to kill you. If you have any information, please contact your magic trick. Want to see a magic trick?
Doesn't work.
Here's my life.
Okay, so we just got out of Freaky and the Black Phone, Horrors of Blumhouse. I want to go through that house again, only because I know for a fact that we were in there in the middle of a cast change. So a lot of the boo holes were empty. That house was dead for us. We only had a handful of scare actors in there. So I don't want to judge it based off of that run through, only because we barely had any scare actors. So you win some, you lose some. So we'll be sure to go through that house once again tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know how it is. But in the meantime, we're gonna walk through our next scare zone, which is called Sweet Revenge.
It is called Sweet Revenge. This really takes that spin on our classic Halloween vibe, as we are here at Major Sweets Big Festival. Major Sweets is a candy company in our city here, but this year he's taken a very scary twist on how he's making his candy, because the more the children eat, the crazier they get. And so we are here in the middle of their Halloween festival as all of the kids go crazy and try to eat us too. It is my favorite scare zone of the year personally, because I love that really cutesy, kitschy, old school Halloween vibe meets our nice little Halloween Horror Nights touch. There is so much to see in this zone as well, so many little details. So please take your time exploring the zone.
Holy cow, this is so cool. It's like a full-blown Halloween parade here in the zone. All these massive parade floats have been brought out.
Oh God, I hate children.
Take a look at that, Major Sweets.
Last time I do a parade here.
I've been looking for you everywhere. Where have you been? Getting candy. Very good. Did you get all the candy you want? No? Have you tried knocking on the Gershner's house? They have the best raisins. It's the kind that when you pull them out of the box, they've all clumped together and it's a raisin clump. That's always the sweetest. What? Hate spooks. Go on, go on. Don't think you're old enough to do it by yourself. Knock on the doors and such.
I love these massive floats that they brought out. This is insane. And they made this just for Horror Nights. That is unbelievable. Here's one on a tricycle. Oh my gosh, we finally know what was under those tarps. This poor couple. They were just trying to take a nice picture. Aww.
as one of our overlying themes, where basically it is a prison for monsters. We'll kind of experiment on them and figure out weird things about what lives in the dark. So on Hellblock Horror, we are revisiting the Hellgate prison and seeing all those different monsters as they escape, and we have to try to get out before we become their food. Are you guys ready? Follow the 1970s film, basically scene for scene. We brought back Michael Myers to our event several times over the last 31 years we've been doing this. So this one does follow the classic film, but if you are a Michael Myers fan, make sure you guys go out and see Halloween Ends. It just came out, but it was basically the end of the new series of Michael Myers films.
Emotion face. He's gone from here. The evil is gone.
I love all these carnival style games that have been set up over here in the Music Plaza. Great way to break up the scares and to get your mind off of things.
Our 4 out of 5 scare zones is like our table of contents for the year. This is called Horrors of Halloween. Every year this zone is always a really cool place to go ahead and take photographs, videos, but this year we amped it up a notch because if you remember from last year's event where we had our pumpkin house in the back, at the very end of the house, let's greet the Pumpkin Lord. And so he is running the show here, so on the other side of the zone, you can actually
Rest in the shadows. I have taken root and will now accept your praise. I am the Pumpkin Lord!
The last scare zone that we have not seen is called Graveyard Deadly Unrest. We're heading through the Nettlewood Cemetery and there are some spirits that just can't make it. They just can't quite cross that bridge yet. And as you walk on through, you may see two Grim Reapers. One is death, one is sleep, which are just two things that all these spirits really, really want so they can make it to the afterlife. A lot of really beautiful ghosts in this section, a lot of cool details. My personal favorite, there is a set of passed away twins that died together and they now roam the afterlife together. So see if you can point them out. It's a nice long scare zone, a lot of pretty details, a lot of really cool things to see, so definitely take your time moving through.
Although they'll do cute little casual cosplays, you know? Okay, like Disney sounding sounds.
Okay, so now that I have a few minutes to talk to you guys, I want to talk to you about Hellblock and Halloween. So Hellblock, it was a very interesting house. Definitely not my favorite, but it's more of a nostalgia-based house where the monsters that are in that house in the prison are recognizable from years past. So if you've been coming to Halloween Horror Nights for an extended period of time, then you're gonna recognize some of the monsters in there, which is really cool. I love the prison concept, but the execution is a little meh. But once again, I'm reserving full judgment until I can come back tomorrow or Sunday and go through that house, because again, I'm walking through all of these houses looking through a little screen, so there's only so much that I can gather from this walkthrough. But anyways, it was still interesting, and it did scare me a couple times. And then Halloween, it's Halloween. There's only so many times that I can get scared by Michael Myers before I just become immune to it. So still, visually a nice house, but the scares are a little meh for me because, you know, it's Michael Myers. Still a very fun house though. If you're a fan of the Halloween franchise, you're gonna have fun in there. Unfortunately, we're not gonna have time to see it tonight, but this is a preview of the nighttime water show Ghoulish. We'll be sure to catch this tomorrow night for you guys.
Doing this house because it's the 1920s and prohibition's a thing and we're not allowed to drink and it's boo-hoo, so sad. But I know of a really cool speakeasy that we can all go to. It's run by these beautiful flapper girls, but there's a rumor that the flappers are actually witches and that their speakeasy is actually a witch coven. Our next house is Spirits of the Coven, where we're actually heading into that speakeasy. We're lured in by these beautiful young flapper witches, and then we realize once we're in their clutches, it's a little too late, because the further that we go to that speakeasy, the further that we become their victims, the older the witches get, because these witches live forever, but they never stop aging, and they keep the oldest and crotchetiest witches all the way in the back, where we're gonna be fed to. So I hope it's worth it. It'll be one last party, right? Might as well make it a great one. So our next house is Pier to the Coven.
What's the password?
Llegue para.
Chupacabra, and we're going to be heading into the big festival this Sunday, or basically a party of blood, where the people in this Mexican town are celebrating the Chupacabra. Now, the Chupacabra is a local legend to Mexico and Central and South America. It literally translates to goat sucker, and it is a sort of cryptid, so think like Nessie or Bigfoot, it's like that type of local legend type of creature, where these creatures would come and feed off their goats and kill their goats, and they don't know where it's gone. In reality, it was probably just coyotes, but we're gonna go with the Chupacabra instead. And these people worship the Chupacabra, and so basically they have all created this festival where we're enticing people, just like you guys, to come and party with them, but you're actually their blood sacrifice. So those who live in the city, those who are participating in the festival, are gonna have masks, like traditional more looking wooden masks, and everybody else is either a Chupacabra or a victim just like you guys. But it is a super fun party, and I hope you all make it out alive so we can see the last house together.
Wow. Holy cow. Wow.
Te hemos estado esperando. Bienvenido. Estábamos esperando.
Tu sangre alimentará a la bestia.
Chupacabra.
Necesitamos tu sangre.
Also, while we have a second to talk about it before we get into our next house, I absolutely loved Chupacabra. Oh my god, that was such a fun house. Visually, it was stunning. The set design was incredible. The costuming was incredible. The Chupacabra puppets were amazing. I loved it. I loved that all the scare actors in the house were talking Spanish. It was so nice. And that facade, when you walk in, you feel like you're walking into a village. It's incredible. It's incredible. That is by far my favorite haunted house of the night so far. I loved it.
If you don't make it out of this one, at least we can give you a burial at sea. Because our last house is called Dead Man's Pier, Winter's Wake. And for those who came back in 2016, we had a scare zone called Dead Man's Wharf, which basically was a smaller zone in our San Francisco area where all these sailors and fishermen went out to sea and they never came back. Their boat sank and they became one with the ocean. So we're taking that story and elaborating a little bit. The captain of that boat, his wife has been waiting for him to come back. She plays the violin every day on the bow of the ship's wharf, waiting for him to come back. But alas, he is now one with the ocean. And so she must think, well, if I want to be with him forever, I also need to meet a watery grave. But it's winter now and it's very cold and she's very lonely. So this might just be the night that she takes her life and that we now drown with her and meet all of those fishermen that once were in that zone, now have their own area. This is my personal favorite house of the year. It is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful, and the fact that we put like 6 boats inside a house is insane. So I hope you guys really, really enjoy this one.
Whew, it's been a very long night so far, but we are heading into our very last haunted house of the night, Dead Man's Pier, Winter's Wake. Oh my days, it's cold. Wow. Holy cow. God. No way. Yo. Dead Man's Pier. Holy, you know what? Holy cow. That was the best house. I know I just got done singing the praises of Chupacabra, but Dead Man's Pier, oh my God. The single greatest house of the event, hands down. Not just for the scares, because the scares are really good, but the set design. Oh my God. If you guys skipped past the POV of the haunted house, then just know that it is the most beautiful house ever. And we loved it so much, our tour guide is taking us through it again. So I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna put the camera away. I will see you guys when I'm done.
But like you could tell the work on that. Yeah, that was
And with that, we have conquered Halloween Horror Nights 2022 in one night. All 10 haunted houses and all 5 scare zones. That was absolutely insane. My first ever media event for Halloween Horror Nights, and I could not be more honored and more excited to have experienced this and to have been invited out to this. And I just want to give a huge thank you to you guys as well. Like, you guys have no idea how much this means to me. I have been dreaming of this day for years. You guys who have been watching the videos for a long time, I've mentioned before that I can't wait to be with the big boys and to, you know, be invited out here to film the houses and to cover the event. And I finally got my opportunity, and this was the greatest thing I've done on the channel in a very long time. And I have you guys to thank for it. So thank you so much for all of your incredible support. You guys have no idea how much this means to me. It is quite literally a dream come true for me. So on behalf of myself and Coda, thank you so much for, you know, giving us this opportunity, and huge thank you to Universal for inviting us out. And I hope that we get the opportunity to cover this event again next year. We are going to be back at this event tomorrow and Sunday, so don't you guys worry. We have a lot more content coming your way. Tomorrow we are doing Scare Actor Dining, so that video is going to be coming your way very, very soon. So be sure you are subscribed to the channel and have that notification bell turned on, so that way you get notified when we do upload that video. And we also have an Unmasking the Horror tour on Sunday as well, where we get to go through the haunted houses with the lights on, and I get to take a lot more pictures of the haunted houses and get to give you guys a lot more information. There's a lot of great Halloween Horror Nights content coming in the very near future, guys. It is only the first night of many nights up until October 31st, so this is going to be your one place for the best Halloween Horror Nights content. Thank you all once again so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. I'm going to go back to the hotel now. I'm going to edit this video, and you guys are going to be able to watch it, and I hope you guys enjoy. Please leave a like if you did. It really helps me out. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, evening, guys, and I will see you in the next video.